It's finally here. Color remover day, one step closer to my newest hair transformation. This time around, I've decided to go for the MALIBU DDL XL, which stands for Direct Dye Lifter Extra Lift. It's for professional colorists, but I actually found mine on Walmart.com. I ended up getting a 6-pack for about $40. For me, that was a great deal. I really looked around. Even the place I buy my bleach from, these were like almost $10 or like $10. So I think I got a really good deal, but that's what I'm going to be using today. So it says Direct Dye Lifter, successful with or without developer, creative control for special effects. Now it starts out with, for the best results, prep there with Malibu C CPR prior to application. I actually have a previous video where we used the Malibu C CPR, and I did it exactly the way that they recommended from their website and their videos. I used it with the color disruptor and the undo goo shampoo and all of that stuff. So if you'd like to see a detailed video about the CPR, it'll be in the description below. Now, unfortunately, my CPR didn't come with my delivery. I just think I forgot to add it to my cart. I bought my recent bleach order. I'm actually going to have to go in and just use DDL without using the CPR. Lots of people probably just use this without the CPR. Whenever I try a product, or especially from like a brand, I really like to follow their instructions first before I do too much messing around with it. But that's just me. I'm like addicted to learning or whatever, so can't help it. Just remember, this is different because this is sulfate based, which means it's a part of the bleach lightener family. So know that this can lift your natural color. It can damage your hair because a CPR is a non-oxidative and this is an oxidative. And so you also do not want to use heat with this. So like just kind of disregard if you've seen the CPR video. This is like a whole new thing, different ingredients. So you're not going to want to use heat with this. And if you look at the ingredients, my gosh, I need to get my glasses. I've been saying that for a year. The ingredients are at the bottom. So the very first ingredient is ammonium persulfate. And you're probably not going to be able to see it. Maybe I can pull up the ingredients right here. But right down here, the first word, ammonium persulfate. And that's that sulfate. That's like the bleach, the lightener. That's what's going to react when you put in the water or developer or whatever, because you can use this with water developer, and that's why. Because water will react with any bleach. It just won't do much, but it will have a reaction. You'll just have a stronger reaction if you're using peroxides and stuff like that. So, and just in case you're wondering, because I didn't always know this, direct dyes, what this says that this lifts, are going to be like your Vivids, your fashion colors. Basically, it's for those non-oxidative colors. So oxidative, anything that requires a chemical reaction, like your bleach, your permanent hair color, semi-permanent hair colors, anything like relaxers, anything that requires like a developer or something to make a chemical reaction, that's oxidative. So like this is oxidative. So this is not meant to lift those kinds of dyes. There are other color removers that will lift dyes like those. So but this one is for what I have going on, which is non-oxidative hair colors, direct dyes, which would be like temporary hair colors, stains, semi-permanent hair colors, all those things. They're called direct dyes because they just sit and stain directly on the outside of the hair shaft or even just barely right inside of it. So that's what the whole difference is and all that stuff. That's what this is meant for. And just remember, this will ruin your hair, and it is like a bleach, just not as aggressive. Like if we look in my regular bleach, I bet, let's see, gosh, I need these glasses so bad. Oh, and there's so many words. Goodness, where's their old packaging? This is okay, their old packaging is a little easier to figure out. Sodium silicate, and then right after that, potassium persulfate. So even though they have a little bit different names, if you see that persulfate, that sulfate word in there, that's the ingredient. That's what's gonna open up your hair cuticles so that things can get in there and do stuff. So this is more aggressive than their CPR, which is a non-oxidative. So it's safer for your hair. It doesn't have any of the bleach or any of that, the sulfates or anything like that in there. So that's a whole nother ball game. Honestly, as I've been researching this, it has been like one of the most interesting things to learn about using this new color remover. I've just learned so much more about just the whole chemical process of things, and I'm enjoying it. So thank you for being here, because you being here is why I'm here. So thanks for the inspiration. And by all means, if there's anything that, I'm missing or that from experience, please feel free to comment. I love constructive criticism and I love learning. And then that way, if there's anybody else here looking for answers, we can all help each other, right? Don't be scared to comment. And also you could just comment how you're doing. I think the closest one to this I found online, people were comparing it to the Pulp Riot Blank Canvas, which actually my hairdresser really enjoys. So if you're in the market for like the bleach based ones, that's the one my hairstylist recommends. If you're like kind of a die hard on your hair color, like say you only use Danger Jones, then you probably would want to try to stick with their brand of color remover or even their bleach. You know, it's all personal preference, but sometimes those color removers work better like with that brand of hair color. Now, I do have other clarifying shampoos, but in honor of the Malibu products today, I did go ahead and get another Undo Goo shampoo just because they recommend using it. And like I try to stay within the brand the first time I use everything. So I'm going to be using the Undo Goo shampoo from Malibu along with everything today. They did say if you don't have the CPR or you're not going to do the CPR step, they do recommend doing their color prepare. So I did get just, I think it's like $2 overnight on Amazon. And this is their Malibu color prepare. And so they recommend doing this first before we go in with the DDL. And so I'm going to just kind of walk you through those steps as I'm doing them. I don't see the point in explaining all the steps and then doing them. I just want to give you a general idea of what we're using today. So we are going to be using their color prepare as well before we put in the DDL. And then, yeah, our clarifying of the day will be this unless I run out. You know, I did say I was going to use the Olaplex clarifying shampoo today. I am still going to use that soon, but just for what we're doing right now, I wanted to use this specifically. Unfortunately, I was so focused on getting the color prepare, I totally missed on their website and on their instructions that it recommends to follow this with their Deox, which is a product that stops the oxidization in your hair after a color remover. And I know a lot of people use this. They don't maybe do that after, and that's fine. I did read online on Reddit. A lot of people had more issues with that, with like color oops and stuff of it reoxidizing. Like it would lighten and they rinse it out and it would come back like to the darker color because your hair can keep oxidizing. As I'm researching this, I'm like, wow, I've actually never ever used one in my entire life. So good for me, right? But there's other ways that you can do it. Like just make sure you wash it really well with a certain kind of pH or whatever clarifying shampoo and just really try to get in there and make sure you just hot water and make sure you get it all out so that it's not in there to keep oxidizing. But really, I hear that the best thing works would be like a kind of treatment like this, like the Deox. And since I couldn't get that, I did find kind of a dupe for it. And I was able to get 2-hour delivery from Sally's Beauty. Woo! And I also did pick up a little hair mask that as a little just treat in the video that I'll use later. I'm going to be using the Ion After Color Treatment. So this like just helps close the cuticle and lock the color deep inside the hair. And it's their treatment, not their after color sealer, which is different. Which I actually do have. Oh, this after color sealer is different. Got its own thing going on. And so I did research to make sure that this would do basically the same thing. This is going to help stop the oxidization process after tinting, lightening, permanent waving, or relaxing. Triple action formula to help eliminate traces of remaining oxidizing agents, and it seals the cuticle layer of the hair and helps to restore the natural pH of the hair. So we are going to use this at the end. I just wanted to make sure that I put that out there in the beginning because, like I said, as I was compiling all this, this was like the last thing that I didn't even realize or think about. And it seemed like a really important step not to skip. And I'm also just glad that I know about it for the future. That's about it. Nothing left to do besides get mixing, get applying, hang out with all of you. So thank you so much for being here. I was so excited to get to wear my little Halloween sweater. Look how cute this is. Got the bats. You just got like Alice. It's been so hot here. All right, so here is what, but now it's getting extremely hot inside. Okay, so here is what we're working with. Now we are going to be bleaching my roots and I'm going to do a little quick haircut on myself and then we're going to be doing Halloween hair. So I really just need to get all of this to where I'm happy with it, with what the colors I'm going to use are. But definitely we're going to be lifting these roots. And this will lift my natural color of my roots, but I'm not planning on needing to get that close to my roots for that to matter. If you don't want to miss that, make sure you subscribe because the very next video, yeah, we're going to bleach my roots with the new bleach formula that we just swatched. I think I can almost just leave this side. So I'm thinking maybe just a nice little, we'll just put maybe that little mask, hair mask that I got, and we'll just kind of put this away. Focus solely over here. Luckily, I have 6 packets of this, so I can always change my mind. I don't want to like spoil the Halloween colors, but I mean, I'm using as many Halloween colors as possible, so I'm sure it's not hard to guess the types of colors we'll be using. Especially if you've been following my channel, I've been swatching a lot of different colors. I try to keep a little mystery. So I'm going to try and focus and just make sure I go through each section and just really try and get all of these pink tones out. So now they specifically state that you're going to want to use water if it's for like cooler tones like blues and greens and like purples. But it says if you're trying to get out warmer colors like reds and pinks and stuff like that, that you're going to want to use 10 or 20 volume developer. Well, my hair is pretty fragile. I mean, I'm not planning on putting in a 10 or 20 volume developer in today. I think we're just going to go with straight up water, even though it recommends not to. And remember, don't use heat with this. This is not CPR. We're not using heat. And it does say you can do foils or balayage or whatever you want. I think this will be a really good judge of how this product works because all the reviews online, this seems to really, really help people with like their blues. I wish I would have known that before I did the ion color remover on my blue hair because it really didn't budge it at all. Also, that one wasn't a bleach based. Well, that's probably why. So that's the plan. Here's our products. Let's put it in my hair and see what happens, see how it turns out. All right, so the directions on here is it wants you to start with the shampoo. It just says to shampoo, rinse, and pour crystals across wet palm. Rub hands together, adding water 1 ounce to dissolve crystals. And yeah, in the video, she was just saying that you just get your hands wet, dump this there, get it into lather, and lather it on your hair. And then we're gonna leave it in for 5 minutes. I'm gonna use this Undo Goo shampoo from them throughout this process until I run out, obviously. But luckily, we only have half of a head of hair to deal with as far as that goes. So like where it says to like pour crystals into your wet palm, across your wet palm, and rub your hands together, adding 1 ounce of water, it's like, that's the part where it's like, do I need to have 1 ounce of water ready? I don't know. It just seems like it made it a little bit more confusing than it had to be because you're not like mixing this together. But I do have one of these like fancy little bottles that I use to measure if I gotta do ounces for this kind of stuff, just to measure like the water. So I'll probably just use this to make sure I don't overdo the water since I'm not gonna actually be in the shower. But just so you know, on the video, reading this on the video, she made it sound like so much easier. So I'll just probably go with that if I was gonna be doing this, like my whole head in the shower. Or however you're going to apply it, you have to let it sit for 5 minutes, and then you're going to do DDL. So I don't know if you'd be in the shower, however you do your hair, but I think you get what I'm saying. She just made it a little less stressful sounding. Just make sure your hand's wet, your hair is wet and washed, and then you're going to put this in your hair. Rub it together, because there's like crystals in here, you know, that you need to kind of work and dissolve, activated. And then you're going to apply and like scrunch throughout the hair. The thought of crystals rubbing on my hands sounds absolutely terrible, so I'm actually going to wear gloves for this. And honestly, I probably should because I'm going to be handling so many different kinds of chemicals in my hands. So, plus I have kids and dogs and stuff, and I don't need chemicals floating around. I'm going to wash my hair with this. Come back over here, put the color prepare in with you guys so you can see how that all works. And then we'll sit for 5 minutes. Maybe I should only use like half of this. Should save some in case I decide to do the other side. Jeez, I don't need enough for my whole head. That's what the crystals kind of look like, just like a powder. Trying not to make too much of a mess. Okay, and then what? Oh, that's cool. And then once they dissolve, it literally turns into a lather. Fun. Digging it, digging it. I did separate my hair into 2 sections here, just to make sure that I'm coating it throughout here good enough. I'm not going to try to get the color remover on my roots like I said before because it's going to lighten them, which wouldn't hurt me because it would just help me lighten them per se, but eventually when that grows out, it could make it pretty uneven. And on top of that, I didn't want to over clarify because we're going to be going in and bleaching them and I don't want them to get too over irritated. And some of that bleach is going to come down some of this here. And since this has already got bleach in it, I don't want to do too much like overlapping of everything. I am actually going to go in with the rest of the color repair Why not? There's only $2 off Amazon. I just wanted to do this again. But I didn't feel like I got enough. But I'm not worried about this getting too close to my scalp because it's a color prep before chemical services to just kind of remove buildup and stuff in the hair that can affect the lightening, any kind of chemical process or even lightening process. So I don't think it would kill me to have this color prepare, even though I'm going to obviously be washing everything out. But this itself isn't going to affect my roots any. Okay, and then we just leave this on 5 minutes, and then we're going to rinse this out with our clarifying shampoo again. And then don't condition, and then it just says to go ahead with our service or color service, which is DDL XL today. So no bad smell. It smells kind of actually a lot like their clarifying shampoo, the Undugu, which is like kind of a citrus scent. I enjoy, honestly, the scent of it. So reveal. Never tried this brand. I know one of you had mentioned it before. Can't remember if it was this exact product, but this is just the one that I picked up. It popped up on there. It was on sale. I got really excited about it because it's like a moisture hair mask. And I'm like, perfect. So this side has really needed moisture since we did the Olaplex. So I'm like, that's perfect. I'll just give this a nice moisture treatment, see how it works. I do have some other like more intense masks that I actually want to do a review on. So I just thought that this would just be a fun kind of mini review in here. So it's the Sauce Beauty Deep Moisture Hair Mask, Guacamole Whip with avocado, argan oil, and manoi oil, free of sulfates and parabens. After shampooing or conditioning, work through damp hair, roots to tips, leave on for 3 to 5 minutes, rinse hair thoroughly, use 2 to 3 times per week. Sauce is for your hair, so please don't eat it. Well, I'm glad they warned me because it is late and I am kind of hungry. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited to try this, and what better way than right now? I purposely grabbed this because it said it was a moisture mask. Like I said, we just did the Olaplex. I'll link that down below too if you guys want to check that out. Oh, perfect. 5 minutes, see? So we shampooed with Malibu clarifying shampoo. And then we put in the color prep. I'm going to go rinse the color prep out with the same clarifying shampoo until I'm pretty sure that all of it's out. And then we're going to come to the fun stuff. So here, let's go. Did you happen to catch the fact that I didn't scrunch that into my hair like it said to? It did look a lot shinier on this side, so I could tell it definitely did what it was supposed to do. I don't smell anything. Cool. It's a subtle scent, but it's nice. Ooh, it's like smooth. Okay, I smell it now. Ooh, I like this. It's not overpowering and it's really clean, and I feel like I almost could pick up what the smell is. I don't say avocado. What is it? It's like, I like it. Though. I like this. Remember, if you guys want me to go back in with a DDL and use it with my 10 and 20 developers, I can if you want to see that more of a difference that way. Just go ahead and comment below. All right, so now mixing this, it doesn't say on the packet whether it has to be on wet or dry hair, because obviously they were saying, well, use CPR before and then follow up with this, or use the color prepare before you use this. So I was assuming that unless they specified you didn't have to completely dry your hair after doing this, it's meant to go on after. And I did look online just in case, and it does say you can do on wet or dry hair. So my wet hair is so extremely fragile. I'm just gonna let it just get a little bit more dry before I go and put this on, because I can tell that between the clarifying and that color prep, my hair is already mad at me. Here we go. No turning back now. I'm gonna use a mixing bowl. That's just how I want to roll today. All right, so we've already kind of gone through all this, so let's just go to the directions. Like I said before, you can use 10 or 20 volume with this. They recommend using that for like pinks or oranges or reds or just any more serious lift. It says for gentler lifting and to remove blue-green hues, mix this with water instead of developer. I almost wonder if that's because of how they say that bleach can sometimes push those colors deeper into the hair shaft. That's kind of why the water would remove like the blues and stuff better, but that we want the bleach for like the reds and stuff. So let me know if you know the logic behind that, or if it's just in general, but they do specify to get rid of blues to use it that way. So just kind of interesting. I am not going to use developer on my pink hair because I really don't need like all of this to lift that much. It's just going to take a light bit of lifting, and I really don't need the very ends to lift either. So really my biggest problem spots are going to be just some of these darker pieces and mainly all this lighter stuff. I want to strip this out. And I don't really care about towards the roots. So I'm just going to use water and see where we get from there. I do have plenty of pink swatches to try this on, though. But we'll see how this works for me. Add 1.5 ounces of developer or water. So 1.5 ounces for one packet of whatever you're using, whether it's developer or water. It says to put this and then add the water in there. Ooh, lots of dust. Lots of dust. Ooh. Don't breathe. Don't breathe. I'm breathing. Oh my gosh. It's still coming out of the bag. And after we mix the water or whatever you're mixing, it says to put it on your hair right away. And then to apply section hair and apply freshly mixed DDL XL with a brush to each section. Allow to remain on hair for a maximum of 45 minutes. The longer the processing time, the greater the lift. Yeah. Check hair every 5 minutes until desired results are achieved. And then shampoo thoroughly and rinse. Malibu Undo shampoo is recommended, which we have. Heat is not recommended. Please don't forget that. And then use Malibu CDOX to stop oxidization after processing. So they were saying to use that after the shampoo. And like I said earlier in the video, I don't have their deox, but I do have the ion after color treatment, which I made sure to specifically check. And this one does stop the oxidization process. So this one is specifically for that. I had to make sure I let you run. I almost bought the wrong thing, but we got it. It said like tepid, warmish water, so not hot and not cold. I don't know where I read that about the water, but I'm not seeing it on here. So yeah, I think we're just going to focus on, like I said, just some of the darker stuff and then just hit the lighter area at the last second. Ew. It said that it's supposed to be like easier to control as far as like where you're putting it on and stuff. So hopefully that's the case. Looks like oatmeal. Oh God. Oh, that was a mistake. That was such a mistake. It was a mistake. Oh my gosh, the smell is so strong. It was like bleach on steroids. Oh my Lord. I regret that with my whole being. Oh no. Oh, someone had to learn. Why would I do that? Knowing. Oh my gosh, even my regular bleach doesn't smell that. I am going to have the worst headache from this. Oh no. Oh, why did I do that? Yeah, do not put your face anywhere near this. I didn't smell anything coming up off of it while I was mixing it. It was like the strongest smell of ammonia. That's what it is. It was like an ammonia. Hit me right in the face. Oh my gosh, I'm actually scared to put this on. Alright, well, it's this lovely, disgusting, looks like baby food. Like, if I didn't know what was sitting in this, and it didn't smell like bleach, I would say it looked like some kind of baby food. I can see what they mean about that making it a little easier for placement, depending on what you're trying to do. I'm sure that helps a lot with like color corrections and stuff. I just cannot get over how horrible that was. And how stupid I was. That was insane. Okay, let's just, whew. scarred. This is very strong. And that's with water, no developer. Oh gosh. Terrifying. I'm going to start my timer as well, just so that I know when the first application was. Open that. Oh gosh. I'm just going to snap off. It's like, get in there. Get into that hair shaft. It's not even in the hair shaft. Just get the color off of my hair. Let's move on to here. I already have a headache from that. I think I was doing good until that moment. That sucked. I don't care as much about like the front here. Honestly, if it were to have any breakage, because I'm going to be cutting a lot of the front of my hair anyways. Am I going to go down to the ends with this? Maybe I will. Guess we'll go down on the ends a little bit here just so we can see what happens. Kind of put that one in a little bit of foil and just see if that makes a difference. So I'm going to give this just about 5 minutes. It did say to keep checking every 5 minutes and see if I can put it in the rest of my hair. You put this one on. Yeah, it's already been like 20 minutes and that's like not budging. I'm just going to put all the rest of this on my whole head so that at least it can lighten most of this stuff out. And then once that's light, regardless of where this is at, because I didn't use developer and it's said for pinks and stuff to use developer. And especially since this just hasn't lifted at all, I think that's what my plan is going to be. So let's just put it all over my head. At least get as much of this evened out as we can. And I'll just have to work with whatever that is when we color my hair. I'm going to go do the back in the other mirror really quick because I can't see. Oh boy, so that's rough back there, and then I just added like a little bit of water up front because it was getting just way too dry. I went way up by my roots when I said I wasn't going to do that because I just didn't need to. So yeah, this is not good. Kind of wishing I would have just done the developer and just targeted those these pink areas with like some foils and maybe done this on a different application to lift the rest out, but I just wasn't sure. I just wanted to see how this worked in general. Definitely getting to see how it works in general. If I can at least get it to lift all this like light pink and purple through here, I'll be happy. Like I said, the ends and towards there I can deal with. I can figure that out. But there's just one color that I really want in my hair, along with the rest of them. And I'm stubborn, so I'm going to make sure I can put it somewhere. Besides that, I don't care. I'll put the colors wherever on the rest of it. Because now it's personal. Alright, last piece. And I'm almost out of this stuff. Anyway, it's probably a good thing. There you go, getting right up on those roots. Yeah. Really dumb move because I'm going to have a hard time not overlapping onto where I just damaged my hair with this. It just doesn't seem to be getting that out of there. Is it because it's like too cold in here maybe? It is pretty chilly. Now that it finally cooled off outside and it's the middle of the night, maybe it's just like my hair froze up so it's closing the cuticle, but it says not to use heat. So I think there's probably no turning back now. I might just steam up my bathroom a little just so there's at least a little bit of heat while the rest of this process is almost gone all the way to my ends. Shame on me. Oh, I hope this doesn't actually light my roots. Half of the stuff we did in the beginning of this was to open up my cuticle so that this works better on my hair and really gets the color off of my hair, or all my colors, semi-permanent colors that I've been hanging out there. And so for me to be for it to be this cold isn't gonna help. My cuticle's probably like, so like I said, not gonna use heat, but I'm gonna have it warm. That's the best I can do. The very first part we did down here has now been in 36 minutes. So I'm gonna, and it set a maximum of 45. So I'm gonna start this over. And I know that all this has been in at least like 5-10 minutes. And it is making some really weird colors. So I'm just gonna keep it on it every 5 minutes and see where we're at. But hopefully this will all be caught up within like 10 minutes so that I'm not having to like have this sit too long. All right, so at this point it's been 27 minutes since I started this, which means it's probably been more like a little over 30 minutes for the rest of my head. I do see that it's lightened this all. It's removed actually most of the pink. If anything, I'm just getting like the slightest hint of like maybe orange. That might just be that it's sitting on my hair and I just need to like wash the color out. It could just be making that sheen on my hair. Giving up all hope down here. Like I could tell that it's going to be lighter, but I forgot that we used the Aero Neon Red a while back. So I probably, if I really, really wanted this out, should have went with the 10 or 20 volume developer since they specifically recommend it. Like it took all my lighter pink out and everything. It looks like just fine. It's just like these more intense ones down here. If that's what you're going for, maybe try to do lighter developer, but I just don't see the point in leaving this on like 10 more minutes because this is all good where this is at, and this has already been in longer, so there's nothing happening. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to wash this out really, really well with their Undo Goo. Additives are not recommended. And I can't remember if I read that, but that's why I'm going to kind of sneak the K18 that I have in after, instead of putting anything right in it. Because like I said, for first time trying anything, I just really want to use it as per manufacturer's instructions so I can kind of get a real good feel for what I'm working with. And then just live my life, you know. So because of that, I am going to add in the K18 after I shampoo. Then after 4 minutes, then I'm going to come in with the ion to stop the oxidization and close the cuticle. So hopefully that'll help some with the damage. All right, so I'm going to get to rinsing, and I'll see you in just a second. It worked. But tell me this isn't one of the most scariest things you've ever seen in your life. Look at this. I don't know, man. I don't know. I was under no impressions that this was going to be good for my hair. We'll see. We'll see. It could be just because I have so much clarifying shampoo. And you are supposed to follow up with, you know, your conditioning and styling treatments and everything. So I think that's why this is so scary. So let me just make sure it's dry enough for the K18 quick. Because you don't want it dry. You don't want it wet where the K18 can't get in your hair. Jeez Louise, this is scary. All right, this is a smaller K18. I'm going to do 3 pumps because this is such a small thing. I don't feel like that's enough. It doesn't look like much. Maybe my hands were dry. Yeah, I might have to just put a little bit more of that. It's going to be a 4-minute thing. But I know since this is a smaller pump, they said to do like 3 times as much that they did on there. The bigger ones, so that was 3 pumps. There's like another 3. There, this seems like I got much more of the product. There, that's better, I think. I just want to make sure I get through all of my hair. I haven't had the pleasure of using the K18 mask on my hair this Friday, so I'm excited. Oh, there's still some more water than I wanted in there. Oh, interesting. I feel like I just am never in a spot where my hair feels this tragic. Because I'm always so careful lately. So this is really going to give me a good idea how this works. It reminds me of like a light sunscreen. Summer. And I'm not putting anything over this for 4 minutes. And it's, you know, it's a leave-in mask. But you can still like use conditioner and stuff after. So I'm going to use the after cuticle sealer. I'll deox after. It's going to seal this K18 in, and maybe it'll make it work even better. And it says to wait the 4 minutes, don't rinse out, and then comb. And add product and style as usual. Use for 4 to 6 washes and is needed. And it's needed. It's not dry yet, which means it'll look better when lighter and better when it's dry. But this is actually all gonna be a nice blonde. One of the recommendations on here was when you're doing this at the end, when you do your conditioner, like after the DDL and everything, if it does seem like a little yellow or a tiny bit brassy, I recommend when you do your conditioner, put just a tiny bit of like purple shampoo or use purple, a little bit of purple conditioner in there or just whatever to just kind of tone out some of that brassiness. I don't think I need to. We're going to be bleaching my roots. If anything, I'll do it after that, you know. But I think that this is a really nice blonde. So far I like it. I'm happy. It scared me a little bit, and then I put that K18 in. So I would definitely make sure you have like a good kind of conditioning mask or something to follow this up with. So for this one, after following the chemical service and a light shampoo, apply to clean towel dried hair, wait 3 to 4 minutes and rinse. Well, that's me. Clean towel dried hair on this side anyways. Oh, it's not open because I just bought it. This is actually a good deal. This is like 7 fluid ounces. And I want to say it was like $8. So I was like, I'll take it because I'll be using it more than this. Oh, that smells so good. It has a squeeze cap. I'm just lazy. I didn't put it back on. This smells really good. Oh my gosh. All right, so let's put this and stop all this oxidizing. And like I said, you don't rinse out the K18 and we just shampooed it before that, and it said to put this on towel dried hair, and my hair is still nice and damp, and I didn't want it like over wet, and I am putting like a lot of this on just so you guys know. I want to make sure I actually get this into my hair where all this was. I don't want it to keep doing its thing. I'm not speaking too soon, but so far just that kind of breaking off a little there. Some dead hairs I was expecting, but like nothing clogging the drain or anything crazy right now. That's a good sign, but I don't want to get my hopes up. So I'm going to let that sit in like the 3 to 4 minutes. And then I'll rinse this out, rinse the mask out. And this is supposed to help restore the natural pH of the hair as well. I don't need to follow up with a conditioner or anything. And since we did the K18 mask on this side, and then I'm just going to rinse the mask out and then let it all dry. That way we can kind of see how this mask kind of worked on its own. And I don't want to put like a mask or any intensive conditioners over this because I want to see how just the K18 and the oil works, especially after something this like extensive. Just kind of playing around with some different things here. So either way, I'm going to be washing everything out in 3 to 4 minutes, and then I'll touch it up with my K18 oil. I'm hoping that when this is dry, it's a lot lighter than it looks wet. I think it's going to be a lot lighter of a pink than it even looks like right now, to be honest. All right, everything's done. Everything's put in my hair. It's finally time for me to rest and see what this turns into. Thank you so much for being here on this journey of ours tonight. With my hair, I just never know until it's completely dry. That's so different, these two sides. Well, that was kind of cool. All right, so I'll see you when it's dry. So just a second for you, but quite a while for me. So fingers crossed. See you in a second. All right, it's all dry, and I'm so happy with these results. I'm sure you can see just right away how great it turned out. So the mask, I want to give it like an 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10. Like, I'm really, really picky because my hair type and all the stuff I do to it, it's like hard for me to find one that does what I want. But like, I really, really like this. So let me know if you've tried this. And as far as the K18 went on this side, I definitely can tell that it made a big difference. I am glad that I did that step. And I will say that while I was putting it in, I could tell that it was making it easier to put my hands through. So I'm going to give the K18 a thumbs up as well today because I really got to see how it can help just on one try. So I'm happy about that. I'm pretty much happy about everything. From where we are in our journey, I'm really happy. You could do color theory with this pink. You could get that out, or even if you just did a trim, because it did lighten it quite a bit. And I'm sure if I would have went in with the CPR, it would have been different. Or if I would have even just used the developer, like I said. Plus, it was so cold in here There's a chance that it might have even done it with the water, depending on my environment. But I don't see a trace of pink anywhere. And for some reason, it seems like it's kind of shadowy right here. But I couldn't find any pink in my hair. Just if anything, just some like a little bit of yellow tones that honestly, from where I'm looking, those aren't as strong. But yeah, so just real nice, clean canvas. So that's exactly what I wanted. And even though I got close to my roots, I didn't get any of it close enough to actually lift any of my roots and make anything uneven. So, and gosh, even if I wasn't doing Halloween hair, and this is kind of what I was stuck with in a different situation, I might even think about toning this as white as possible and leaving this pink color, because it just is kind of just a really pretty, shiny, kind of just different pastel pinks. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. All in all, I'm really happy with how this turned out. I know I learned a lot. I hope that I helped you in some way, and I hope you're commenting below opinions or any personal experiences that you've had with any of these products. So here's our quick before and afters, and I'm also going to show it to you in the natural light at the very end of the video. So you can see it actually did take it out more where we had the foils. The back. Not sure if I have it parted correctly, but I think you can see like a huge difference in the back here. The very next video coming up after this, I'm going to be bleaching my roots, cutting my hair, and then Halloween hair. So if you don't want to miss any of that, or you just enjoy the video in general, I hope that you subscribe so you don't miss anything. Keep hanging out. Try to keep it as positive as possible around here. To be honest, I'm so excited to bleach. That's more my comfort zone. So much love, everyone, and I really hope to see you in the next video. Have a beautiful day.